I do want to bring up, I do think it's smart to bring up Valet. Obviously a fantastic Shadow Priest. Why? Because he's a main. We look at the situation that ABC is in, and why do they mirror? They mirror because they are at a loss for comps, which is totally fine. But here, why don't they just go for a main comp? Even if it is a low percentage play, why do you think they go for alts here again, Ben?
Well, I think they probably feel like this is their best chance. Maybe they have played their mains into this matchup and have just never been able to really pull off a victory. So trying to pull out a bit of a sneaky surprise. And earlier I did misspeak. Tolvaron Arena isn't the largest map of the pool, that is Mugambala, but this map provides the most open space for these Wizard Cleave compositions, especially the one ABC is bringing, so it's still an ideal pick for them.
Yeah, strategically they've set themselves up well, but we've already seen, as in the pre-game's analysis, Valet, a multi-BlizzCon competing Shadow Priest, completely torn to shreds from this composition. And they're going to bring in Jamie Shadow Priest? Is this day one Jamie Shadow Priest? We saw the Demon Hunter. That didn't look good at all. That was like an 80% mana advantage. Raikou was outperforming him in every single regard. So bringing in Jamie on the Shadow Priest after watching Valet get stomped, I'm not sold on that. I really am not sold on that. It would be impressive. I'm not saying that this team doesn't have the potential in the future to be able to pull off victories, but they need a wake-up call. They need a slap across the face. They need to get more compositions, better practice in if they want to ultimately return to being BlizzCon champions, because Method Black are just leaps and bounds ahead.
You'll have to see how this game exactly plays out right now. Jamie trying to get aggressive with his Void Eruption. That's going to give him access to Void Bolt and allow him to do a bit of additional damage. But once he uses that, Raikou and Swapsy, they're going to be trying to shut down some of that damage, really limit the amount of insanity he's able to generate and get him out of that Void form, really slowing down his damage. I think that's smart. If you look at mana, Askerath already on 60%. So we'll have to see if he can ever sneak away and get a drink. So far, he has been completely unable to, and Raikou turns his attention, once again looking for a Mana Rift. Silence there by Jamie, slows down the Mana Rift. That was nicely done. Raikou, he went over, tried to get the stun into Mana Rift, but Jamie responded with the silence, slowing down Raikou, buying a little bit more time for Askerath.
All right, let's see what they can do. It's still not looking good here as Raikou keeps securing that mana lead currently, as that is the meta composition. It's kind of play on words there as Demon Hunters have Metamorphosis. All right, whatever. I'll leave the puns to Rich. That's not my job. Jamie doing his best to counter aggress, but just no damage really appearing anywhere on the side of Method Black as they fall further behind. Alec could be the X factor with that Kleptomania, being able to remove all heal over time effects in one spell steal. Maybe with Icy Veins and a huge hit, Alec puts the team on his shoulders, gets a point on the board. But even still, if they manage to do that, they have to win at the map selection of Method Black and the comp advantage, although I don't really think they're going to play any other comp other than this Demon Hunter Death Knight. It's really looking grim for ABC. They definitely had a better performance in this tournament overall. I will say that they have improved, but when they go head-to-head with Method Black, it's night and day.
Yeah, Askerath now in stealth, a ghoul chasing him down, but I think he's actually might be able to reset his mana here. This is good. Alex build, when looking at it, I feel like it's not necessarily ideal. Jamie is going to be the main target for Method Black in this matchup, and Alec once again is going for that Icelands build. And I think if they're on Jamie, Alec needs to be able to sort of counter pressure them as best he can. I would have much rather have seen the Tunnel of Ice build, so his Frostbolts are significantly more empowered, giving him more basically making him more of a threat and freeing Jamie up to get a little bit more pressure out. Askerath already down to 15% mana. Chaz has a massive lead, and this is what we were afraid of. If ABC can't sneak away, can't get the drinks, can't counter pressure, things aren't looking too great for them right now. Askerath has been trying to sneak away, but Method Black has just been able to deny it every step of the way, just one step ahead of ABC in this matchup.
Yep, always one step ahead. Askerath now is almost completely tapped on mana. They still have been burning down Chaz's. At least maybe there's an opportunity for ABC to overcome this disadvantage. It's going to be up to Askerath to sneak away. Is he going to be able to escape Raikou's clutches? I think one mistake that we see often with these mage teams is that they just ignore the Demon Hunter. They just let him run at their Druid and burn him down with mana rifts. I really want to see Alex support Askerath, get him off of his back, drag him all the way across the map so that he can polymorph him and then maybe sneak away. I like Askerath's positioning in that corner. That way they can free cast on Raikou. They set themselves up well. Master Spell to try and snipe Chaz's drink attempt here. I don't think it was able to land. Alec ultimately able to stop it with a Cone of Cold. Well done. Mana is actually a lot lot closer than I thought in this match specifically, and that might be an opportunity for ABC in dampening.
Yeah, definitely potential there. But Chaz might be able to sneak away for a drink, although I don't feel like he really needs to. He can just continue to play aggressive, keep his team in the fight, make sure they're able to get out as much pressure as they need to. Asgrath's still trying to hold on. He's actually throwing out a lot of Solar Wraths, more so than any Druid I've seen in this tournament, really assisting his team with a little bit of casted damage when he can. Raikou now trying to finish off the last little bit of mana Asgrath has available. Chaz throwing in a Maledict onto Jamie, trying to just pressure down ABC a little bit more as we enter dampening, now at 3%. Completely tapped on mana. What is ABC going to do?
I mean, at this point, dispersion, at least that keeps them alive, keeps them in play for a few more moments, but momentum is shifted in complete control for Method Black. They've tapped Asgrath off. Chaz is on babysitting duty. He's never going to let Asgrath drink at this point. His team is in complete control. Void Shift now forced. That's going to switch Jamie's health, but even still unable to completely stabilize, with dampening not even at 6% at this point. Three members being pressured, and Asgrath tries to escape. Is he able to is the question. No mana regeneration on his part. Alec is trying to stand next to him for a final stand, but there's just no counter aggression, no semblance of damage. They managed to get a polymorph. Maybe Raikou can do it. They burst down, but Death Strike more than enough to keep Swapsy afloat here. And Jamie, he's flailing, he's faltering, and likely to fall soon. There's not much left standing in the way for Method Black to clean sweep ABC and advance to the finals to go head-to-head with the Pumpers. A couple more mana rifts, maybe even just only one, is likely to close this. Jamie's Vampiric Embrace, well-timed there with his Void form, allowing himself to heal his whole team, definitely carrying in that scary moment, buying time for Ironbark to rotate off cooldown, but Asgrath is just working with no mana left in the tank. Dampening gets higher and higher, his healing gets weaker and weaker, and I think it's just an inevitability that Jamie's gonna fall.
I think you're absolutely right. He does have Dispersion coming up very shortly, but Alec actually traded out both of his ice blocks as well, so he's definitely a vulnerable target. Method Black, they want to close out this series. So far, it seems like everything is going their way. They want to set up the rematch between them and the Pumpers in the grand finals, and it's looking like they are going to get the rematch that they want. Although Swapsy taking a little bit of pressure right now. Can Asgaroth keep his team alive a little bit longer? He does have an Ironbark. Jamie has Dispersion. There's still a little bit of time for them to try to make something happen. But with Jamie interrupted, Asgaroth commits the Ironbark. Chaz is just all over him. There is no opportunity for Asgaroth to drink in this matchup. Jamie uses the Dispersion, and that is the last line of defense. If Swapsy and Raikou can stay on target, it is over for ABC.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's looking grim. It is looking dark. How is Jamie going to get any sort of counter pressure going? It's just not happening. It's just not there. They tried to pull this composition to counter comp Method Black, and that's ABC's strategy for so long, but they just don't have it. Nice life grip by Jamie, pulling Asgrath out of that mana rift, at least giving him a couple more seconds of mana regeneration to try and scrape together some sort of opportunity for their team, but they still need to get through anti-magic zone. They still need to get through darkness. Chaz is luckily actually out of mana as well. Maybe I would like to maybe see Chaz baited into midfield and they switch to Chaz. It's really up to Raikou. He's got to carry the team in terms of counter aggression. He's got Icy Veins popped. That's boosting his damage quite heavily, but no result off the back end of it. Jamie has Vampiric Embrace. I will say defensive cooldown rotation for ABC looks solid. The mana rift strategy is definitely the most powerful in the current meta, and I don't think this composition can overcome it despite their play here in game number 3. Alex doing his best into dampening. Potentially they can kill the Death Knight. We saw Cervantes dip very low in the series prior if ABC can hold on to that point.
How is Jamie still alive? Asgaroth has been out of mana for so long in this matchup. Swapsy now dipping a little bit low. He has to sit in his anti-magic zone. Jamie has Dispersion back and rotated up. Can they pull it off? If Jamie can live a little bit longer, there's a full silence on Chaz. Chaz, no mana left. This would be an absolute miracle. Everyone counted ABC out, but they're still holding on, fighting for dear life. A full stun now onto Jamie, slowing him down. Raikou has the darkness if he really needs it. Jamie trades out the Dispersion off that Maledict, just trying to heal up, help Asgaroth out a little bit longer. No Ironbark available. Asgaroth still 0 mana. Nice double fear from Jamie as he loads both members members up with Vampiric Touch, getting some pressure rolling for his team. There's the Void Form, extra damage. Swapsy could be in trouble, but he does have the anti-magic zone is a response, and Jamie, I think it is over for them right here, right now. They managed to hold on, fight for dear life, but it was just not enough to overcome Method Black.
Method Black have the perfect composition right now, and